It has been 25 minutes, therefore it's time for Daniel to sell his Triumph. So we're going to go and... It's been brief.
Well, we fixed all the issues. So kind of now what do we do? This is the thing. We just buy cars.
Fix them for other people to enjoy.
Yes,
and
yeah,
then,
basically, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then just sell them. So I'm going to take it a drive.
It doesn't have central locking, so you're going to have to let me in. I've never actually sat in this. It was in the wrong side. Or the right side, depending on... It's a big key. Big one.
So what's the wee one for? Because
the boot, it only does the boot.
Oh, okay. Right.
Extra security feature. It'll be in gear. The handbrake actually works very well.
Ignition jumps to the touch.
It does jump to the touch.
Like frogs in a dynamite pond.
It starts very well.
Like module.
Very old school seatbelts.
Very funky. It throbs nicely.
It does.
Yeah, 17 and 3/4 inch steering wheel.
It's really not that bad.
I'm most keen to figure out what these wee windows are like.
They're quite effective.
So I'm going to do it.
That's full draft.
We've got JDM indicators on the right hand side.
They actually UK spec, and then for some reason we changed them to the left hand side. It's quite a sensitive throttle.
Yeah, it picks up quite well for an old car.
It does.
This is actually very.
It's a lot of. You get a lot of
Very
dust from that.
Very aircon indeed. Right, performance test. We'll get it to second first. I'm not going to be absolutely living about it. So
You can do it for.
it's okay.
It's a 50-year-old car.
50 years old. Yeah. How does it drift? That's a nice one.
It is a nice wee sound. It is good.
It's not a car you drive with one hand.
No,
That's a reach.
There is a bit of a reach on the old steering wheel. Yeah. You know what's going to happen?
It's going to immediately push down.
No, we'll take all these pictures and then I'll just go, I'm not selling it. It's so good.
Needs a wee picture. There it goes. Both sides. I feel like we're about to go and rob a great train.
To roll my old train. 1 million quid.
Twin carbs, even in a wee 4-cylinder, just don't get
So,
old.
but the only way to make a wee 4-cylinder sound good, to be
I
fair.
agree.
Questions in the comments below. What's he buying next?
Something very different, actually.
You think?
Well,
to
we've
be
done-
fair though, right? You change your mind on what the next car is.
I mean, to be fair,
daily.
I had the Spitfire for what, 10 years?
You've had this for 10 minutes.
The Spitfire was on the road for like 3 years. We've fixed all the issues with this is the thing.
Yeah, we've done a lot. I mean, all Cam, we've done a lot.
The problem that we've got with this car, right, is it's almost too clean to do full, extreme kind of...
This has been
build.
used as a daily driver as well, which is going to ruin it.
Runs to the shops and stuff, and something that you don't want door dings and stuff on. Don't worry, I'm not actually grabbing you, I'm just...
One day. This is now just like, I've got so many little snippets of this Triumph that I'm just going to amalgamate them all into.
It is slowly growing arms and legs.
It's growing arms and legs. But like, what happens here is, like, there's always bold claim. This was going. For a while this was going, and now it's not going.
No, because I've always wanted one, and I'm like that. If I sell it, it's going to do the same thing as what happened with... I've got a really good knack of buying cars, right? Keeping
I can
them
tell.
for a period of time, and then what happens is, as soon as I sell them, they go up in value by at least 3 times. So see if you ever see me selling something, buy one. You'll probably...
This is not a unique to Daniel thing, by the way. I have exactly the same affliction.
Yeah, but mine is really bad. Like, really bad. Like, I once owned an R32 GTR.
Yeah. Not now, though.
So, yes, that's the
Yeah.
prime example.
So, look, things have happened.
It had pancake air filters on it,
Which we saw
which
when we did the points.
were bad. Let's face
Well,
it.
let's discuss how bad they were, because what has now happened since you've put on an actual air filter that looks good and filters air properly?
Just from removing the pancakes and putting this nice Pipercross PX filter on it. It's now idling higher, and it literally needs at least a quarter turn on the fuel jets. So the amount of restriction in pancake filters is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got any sort of classic car with pancake filters on them, the first thing to do is get them off. Get them off.
You hear that? All three of you, right? Get them off.
Yeah, get them off and get yourself a nice proper.
So, coming soon,
system.
how to richen carbs up.
Yes.
As long as you've got Strombergs.
Yes.
All three of you.
Yes.
We'll maybe show you that. This is why none of us have spare time.
This car has been a very long-term project.
Like, I put most of my chod on Tools and Track, which is why you get a lot of content and you realise why I don't get a low cost finished. Daniel sometimes turns up and helps with the stuff and has a Triumph, and you've seen he has a couple of bikes, but also has his own cross to bear in the name of Japanese retro nonsense, and it is a taxi.
It is. It's a Primera GT P11. It's quite nice underneath.
So this has been going on for a while.
It has been going for a long time. As you can see, the whole underside has been. It's a long story. So it's had outer sills, inner arches. The tubs have been done. Bits of the floor were done. Beam off. New bushes on the beam all back together. All the fancy heat shielding's been done. Down there at the front, got a fancy shifter because people like the shifters.
We've not really touched on this for a number of reasons. Mainly, in typical Daniel style, this car's been for sale and then not for sale and then for sale and then it's going to be getting broken and then it's not and then blah blah blah. So I've been like, I'm not going to film this because I'm going to get an episode out of it and then it's going to go away. So what I've done instead is when, like, if you eventually decide we're going to go and do the thing, I will help you do it, and we'll do it. So now that we've decided to do the thing and we're going to help them do it, we're going to get back into it and basically bring this back. So it's half of a barn thing, we'll call this, because it's been done, most of the groundwork's been done, it just needs finishing. So it's not out with the realms of possibility for somebody to go out and buy a project like this. So for me, I know what Daniel's like, obviously it's been done right, but there's obviously a lot still to do, and this is a good sort of insight. If you go, I'm going to go buy a car and it's been buggered with by somebody else, how would you finish it? So we've got a budget in mind, we've got a time frame in mind, and we've got an outcome in mind. So we're going to go see if the car will match this, and over the course of what we're going to do today, we'll get into a bit of that.
We need to do those inner arches.
Right.
This is basically the last bit that we've not de-rusted.
Right.
Is the inner arches.
Ooh.
Which, believe it or not, this is actually the best condition bit compared to the rest of the car. The rest of it was bad.
So this is just really belt and braces because we've done the rest. Well, you've done the rest.
We can't not do this because the rest of it's been done to such a good standard that it would be a real shame to just miss this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at the point. I mean, I know obviously we've not really got any context for this, but all the fabrication for, you know, turbo, intercooler.
Well, let's not bury a lead on that. Let's give the context briefly before we begin.
Sure.
Ooh. Fags.
Approved. Bonnet strut.
Most folk will know the Primera GT or GTEs came with an SR20.
Yes.
And this is no exception. This has an SR20. But
this is a bit of a special SR20. So this is a Pulsar bottom end because that was the strongest bottom end you could get for an SR20. It was Pulsar 1, bigger oil pump, better crank, big block brace, all that sort of stuff. But it's got a GT head.
Right.
Because GT head, being an NA head, had, well, the GT P10s didn't, but the P11s had roller rockers.
Right.
So much better valve train. It's flows slightly more than the Pulsar head, and with it being an NA, it's got quite aggressive cams out of the box.
Okay.
So it's ripe for big power.
As you can see, there's a wee return line down there.
Yeah. This was together, and it had a Wholesat HX40 on it. It made 400.
Right, which is a bit wild considering that it's front wheel drive and from the 90s.
But of course, that's not enough. So we're gonna probably pull this apart and put a even better set of pistons and rods and stuff in it and make more power. Make even more.
So I don't know if there's a faster Primera in Britain, but if you know of one, hit us up in the comments. But this will be spicy.
Yeah, I mean the thing is the good thing is when this was originally done, it's got head studs, it's got main bolts, you know, it's got all the kind of stuff that you would usually do. So realistically, all we're really doing is a refresh and a set of pistons and rods, just so we can turn the wick up more.
Boost up.
Yeah, because it's got valve springs and stuff already in it. So realistically, head-wise, other than stick a set of stem seals and guides in it and stuff, is like we're not doing really anything other than doing a rebuild, but rebuilding it with pistons and rods because most of the work was done.
So this is where we wrap up our Daniel update episode. So we started with a Triumph, moved on to Primera, and now we're going to finish with
It's Italian flair, Exotica.
fucking hell.
What? It's a Fiorino. Look at it.
I would love to say, great, stay tuned, and in the next episode we'll touch on this. But there'll be 3 more cars between this and the next fucking episode conclusion.
No, we've got plans for this one.
Really?
Oh, we've already spent loads of money. So
What, putting it in the ramp?
No, I've done new arms, new rear hub. What else did I do? New shifter.
An amount. Anyway,
There's a lot.
we're going to get into the reason for this
the
fan.
wiper
Oh,
motor.
don't forget the wiper motor.
linkage is it.
Essential wiper
That
motor.
didn't work.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll get into the reasons for this and everything else in due course of time. Like, bell, subscribe, patreon.com/toolsandtrack. Drive safe. Bye.